They want to keep you distracted, pioneers, and only the uncommon 1% and the chosen ones can see this. Even every storm runs out of rain, and there is always rain before a rainbow. Love yourself and stop acting so small, pioneers. You are the universe in physical form. If you don't listen to your heart and soul, you'll never become a part of the universe. Instead, you'll only become a part of society and the system. You're not just a part of creation. You are our Creator's creation. You're a co-creator and responsible for creating and manifesting your own reality. There is an inorganic force keeping 99% of humanity distracted and from knowing who they truly are. And that's that you're powerful beyond measure, pioneers. You see, they want to keep you distracted with things like the Russia-Ukraine war, high gas prices, inflation that's going to turn into hyperinflation, Will and Chris, or Johnny and Amber. They told you, wear your mask because of C-19. You see, they want a world without touch, no interaction, no connectivity. They want a world with no feeling. They told you, wear your mask. They want a world without smiles, no meaning. You see, we can't get distracted, pioneers. So shout out to all the chosen ones and uncommon 1% that can see what is happening here in this matrix. Your true glitches and divergence of the matrix. You see, if it's not helping you evolve, then it's a distraction, pioneers. And if it's not bringing you closer to who you truly are, then it's a distraction. And if it's not teaching you, allowing you to grow, then what is it, pioneers? It's a distraction. I'm not here to distract you. No, pioneers. I'm only here to remind you who you truly are. And that's that you're the greatest of all time within your own paradigm. You're a powerful co-creator of your own reality. You're the celebrity. You're the real star. You've just forgotten that. You see, pioneers, you're all gods and goddesses with amnesia. So again, if you're doing something in your life and it's not helping you express who you truly are and helping you evolve, then it's a distraction. And the moment you stop distracting yourself, let me say this again, the moment you stop distracting yourself and take a look in the mirror, the man or the woman staring back at them, well then that's the moment you win, pioneers. Because what you believe in your hearts and speak in your minds will eventually become your words and your reality one day. And what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset. And what gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset becomes an unconscious reaction. And I just want mine to be guideful, helpful, and nurturing to others. So that's why I do the work that I do. Hopefully helping someone out there in this matrix. So I'm sending you all much love and high vibrations out to wherever you are in the matrix and galaxy right now. I wanted to come out and give you all some encouraging words today and talk about a few things. Because we understand here on the Daily Candle Close News why the markets are crashing. We understand that it's all planned out. And we don't trip, we just buy the dip. Not financial advice. But we understand that this is a controlled demolition of our current system and economy. And that it's been well planned out for quite some time. Honestly, 50 years since 1971. Something we've shared with you all for the last 2.5 years. And how do you change the system that 9 billion people globally are using? Well, you create a new one, while at the same time shrinking liquidity and raising interest rates. creating a problem, showing the people that the old system is no longer working. Problem, reaction, solution. This is the Hegelian dialectic, and it's been used time and time again. We know that we should never, ever let a good crisis go to waste. And all at the same time, we see this is perfectly timed with distractions left and right. And instead of people talking about this broken monetary system that we've been using since 1913, 1933, 1944 Bretton Woods Agreement, 1971 Nixon shock, etc., over 100 years now, well, instead of us talking about that, we see each and every content provider in the world talking about Terra Luna. But that's not the only distraction we see on the world stage. We see cyber attack narratives left and right. We see Janet Yellen talking about stable coins and crypto need regulations. The same narratives that we've expressed here on the Daily Candle Close News that should not get you distracted and caught up. But yet again, I see pioneers falling victim to these narratives and these distractions, asking tons of questions that I know we've gone over here in some of the artwork that we've done. And we can't get distracted, pioneers. We've got to remember, when you understand that the whole world is a stage, then you understand everything's planned out. And when you get back into understanding finance and you understand how the world really works, then you understand that it's all a show. It's all theater around this nonsense with stable coins becoming, or possible bank runs on stable coins, which is why we need regulations. It's drama, a show. And it's bringing forth central bank digital currencies and pushing us into a more socialist and globalist monetary system where they're going to be able to track and control our every monetary movement moving forward. Something we've been preparing you all for quite some time. And I hope you're getting ready, because we see this is getting very interesting, because we know that the Fed can come out at any moment and say, printing money solves all problems. Signed, the Federal Reserve. You know, I should make that a meme, to be honest. But all these individuals are doing is gearing the people up for their next catalyst and main event that will take place on the world stage in the near distant future, more likely towards the end of this year or next year. And it's so important that we are ready mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually for what's to come. We don't know if it's going to be another crash simply like the dot-com bubble, or another narrative like C-19 where they say the Omega variant will mutate to your brain. We don't know if it's going to be another terrorist attack like 9/11, or China and USA going to war. This cyber attack narrative that's hitting the world stage for a year now, since Cyber Polygon, and last June, a year anniversary is coming up. What about that solar flare we prepared you for? It could simply be an alien invasion. Whatever it is, don't put your energy into it. So during this latest manipulation that turned into a liquidation and a capitulation event, I hope you're staying calm and not tripping, but just buying the dip, my friend. Not financial advice. But that's what we teach here on the Daily Candle Close News. And I'm aware right now that this time frame and this event and this period that we're in cryptocurrencies, etc., can be pretty scary, especially for those that are new to this market. Maybe you've even been in this market for a while, but this is your first real event that's got you uncertain as to what's going on. And you've never learned technical analysis or how to truly be an investor. And now's the perfect time to take note of a lot of things and to build a true investing mindset. And, you know, maybe you've seen 90% of your portfolio be down in the last 4 months. This is very normal, and it is cryptocurrency. And it's something that is going to happen as we continue to move forward. the most important thing is not to panic. So if you're somebody that bought the tops and just panic sold these bottoms, I get it. I truly understand. But something I try to teach here is never let money change you, pioneers. You see, it's not about me or about the money I make, and it shouldn't be about you or the money you make. What it should be about is the millions of souls that you're going to help one day, not the $1 million you have in your bank account. So the most important thing that I hope at least one person takes away from all of my work here is it's all about who you are becoming during this process and who you're gonna be when this is all said and done. Don't live in the outcome, live in the process, you guys. The time we are in is the greatest time in human history. So who are you becoming during this time? Are you evolving? The key thing is, are you growing your mindset and living out of your heart space? Living in abundance, love, and gratitude for all that you already are and all that you already have right now today. And are you being thankful for what you have and who you are? Because that's the true foundation to everything, pioneers. The true building blocks of life. So hopefully you're not getting caught up in the latest rituals and nonsense that we're seeing take place on the world stage right now. I hope you're building a mental mindset for not just cryptocurrency and finance, but for everything. Spirituality, emotional. It's more important than finance. I could do away with crypto. I just know that the whole world runs on money, cream, cash rules everything around me, and people get so lost in this money, and so I interpreted it into my work, and what it's become is a main source of how I do my daily living is reading these markets and preparing people for potential volatile time frames like today, Friday the 13th, and 2 days ago, May 11th. Very, very symbolic days that we were able to share in our last two videos that I thought might be some potential volatile days. And we'll talk about in this video. Something I wanted to spend some time on was, have we seen a clear bottom come in? And have we seen signs of that? Or do we still have further down to go? We'll talk a little bit about volume and reading the price charts when viewing volume. So not too much. We're going to keep this video very short. I just wanted to come out and mainly give that encouraging message at the beginning of this video. Leading into this week's technical analysis video, there's probably not going to be a lot going on right now until we give the markets time to play out. So might not even do one Sunday or Monday this week. We'll just continue to see how things go in the next few days. But we'll start off right here. We know our last rejection from our 2-year trend line that led us back all the way to C19, and the last time we fell below this trend line and continued to hold multiple daily candle closes below this trend line for quite some time, a total span of roughly 250 days. So this could be a very drawn out and boring period, or it could be a very quick, fast recovery, something we can continue to watch moving forward on the daily time frame, weekly, etc. Let's not get our hopes up for anything. But this was the last time we fell below this 2-year-old trend line. And we see that came in on 5/5. May 4th was the last green day that we saw for 8 straight days. So for 7 days after May 5th, we fell to a low leading into May 12th. And on May 11th, the day that I prepared you all for, we saw Bitcoin fall to a low of $27,000. So this is all very important. The following day, we hit a low of 26. I shared in my Elon Musk and Twitter buying of Twitter decode, that ritual we saw around Elon Musk, we were getting that 26, that 62 in a lot of things, and we should have been able to perceive the code and see that there was a potential retest of 26K. I shared with you all in that video how we could be setting a potential spring in structure. So we'll be discussing some tonight. The Wyckoff method. Richard Wyckoff is an OG in investing, and we follow his thesis behind buy when others are fearful and sell when others are greedy. We look for a market that's oversold, for a possible accumulation area. And then when we see supply and demand get greater and that market reaches a distributional top, a crown top overbought area, we look to de-risk our portfolios before we see a markdown in the markets. So not financial advice, but again, we follow this Wyckoff reaccumulation schematic. There are multiple ones that you can follow and look at, and I highly suggest that you go and do your own due diligence and research sometime. Excuse me, let me take a quick pause to get a drink. Thank you. So we see that I potentially see us setting a possible spring before continuing on into a phase D and phase E ending of this Wyckoff accumulation schematic. And that's very possible, something I'm very adamant on us seeing and setting a spring and potential lower low before getting bought right back up into supply test and last points of supply, into strengths of supports and backup periods along the way before we potentially set a new and final all-time high and price discovery blow off top for cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Not financial advice, but that is my theory on this, and something we've spoke about for quite some time here on the Daily Candle Close News. So we'll see what happens when we bring this volume up that I was talking about taking a look at today. We know recently there has been no volume in these markets, bringing a lot of speculation as to what we've been seeing for the last several months. We know December 4th up until recently was our biggest volatile day, and a day that we prepared you all for ahead of time for quite some weeks. And we thought that this was going to be a bullish 72K Bitcoin blow off top day. It ended up dropping us back down to 42,000, a retest of our roughly January 2021 highs. So again, bringing us down close to this 236 of our dead cat bounce Fibonacci retracement pool that we've had pulled up and talked about as well. So not surprising there. So we saw another volatile day recently on the 11th, May 11th, 511 or 115 internationally written. Very important day as well. Very volatile, bringing the markets down to around that 27, 26 low we've seen so far. Some charts hit a 25 low. Some may have hit a 24. Irrelevant right now. It basically brought us into an extension of an A, B, C corrective wave for cryptocurrency. And we could see this continue to push down lower. We'll have to continue to talk about that. But we know up until recently we've seen no real volume, and we saw a record-breaking, huge, massive spike in volume coming in on 5.9 and 5.11, So very important that we pay attention to this. A lot of sell pressure and a lot of sell volume, and it's like every other capitulation moment we've seen in the past where we have a sell-off like this in the markets. We tend to see these narratives left and right, distractions around Terra UST and Terra Luna going all the way down 100%, and cyber attacks. Stable coins need regulation. Crypto's a scam. Janet Yellen and Elizabeth Warren are sharing cocktails right now, and they're loving what's going on. Everyone's panicking, and it's almost as if they were all perfectly timed around an algorithmic code and by the numbers, you guys. It's amazing, but often leaving people feeling uncertain and stuck wondering are things as bad as they seem? And I'm here to tell you it's truly not. It is what you make it, pioneers. You know, so when looking for a bottom in structure, one key indicator is going to be volume. Using high capitulative volume, we pay attention to that. So we want to see a higher green candle come in eventually in these markets than our previous red candle that we got 5.9, 5.11, 5.12, taking us back down to around 26K and a retest of previous levels of support. So, you know, we saw wicks down back here in January where we hit 42K for the first time ever and came back and retested this 29.30 range. You know, we saw retest of these levels. Right now we're hanging back out around there. So that 26 was just a previous retest of this cluster right here after our previous breakout of 24K. So maybe a retest down to 24K is in the cards, possibly as low as 17, 18K. Who knows? We do know we're in the Shemitah year, and that gives us 18 in numerology, and we know how important that number is. So very important. Some charts hit 25, Shemitah gave us 25. So some consideration we could take right here in the cards. We know that since Satoshi Nakamoto's birthday, this was a 37-day time period coming into our lows. We can perceive that as the 3 sevens, that very biblical number. Okay, 777. We know that from February 24th, the day our war narrative started, till the lows was a 77-day time period, the 2 sevens. Okay, we're in the 7-year sabbatical cycle, the Shemitah. So it's all about the sevens, you guys, and I share that with you all. So we know that from November or May 5th, 5-5, Satoshi Nakamoto equals 5-5, God equals 5-5, 55, 5 plus 5 is 10, okay? But Satoshi Nakamoto, the 55 connection here on May 5th, the last rejection from our 2-year trend line, we then sold off for 7 days until we saw 26K. God equals 26. So it's very important, that very biblical 7 number here. It's all about the sevens. So something I saw right there was adding confluence to something that I wanted to share with you all. But we're looking for high capitulative volume to come in that's very green. One example of this is looking back in the time period of C19 and the sell-off we saw. This very massive capitulative manipulation, liquidation that turned into a capitulation moment, okay? We've seen it time and time again. But the very following day, you know, it might not happen the next day. You know, it might take time, you guys. But the very next day, we were bought right back up and closed what was the low, that daily candle, green. So very important. I mean, we closed that daily candle from the lows we set. We closed that daily candle up 24%. That's pretty impressive. So we saw a high, massive capitulation in volume come in, showing a clear trend reversal or automatic rally set in the cards. And that's what we saw, was an automatic rally that then went up. When we zoom out, when we're ever in doubt, you know, we know our 69K top was the high. We'll just zoom out and go to 69K. It eventually went up another 1,600% over 2 years. Massive. So very important that we pay attention to volume and the indicators. Another one we've shared time and time again is the MACD, showing us a clear trend reversal right here, and that's something we've yet to see. But we've already started to see our volume in MACD and our histograms forming right here starting to wane off, and we see a lighter color, meaning there's less downside pressure coming in the markets right now. And that can change. We'll continue to see what happens, but we want to continue to see this get littler until it flips green and starts forming bullish histograms and we get a bullish MACD flip. So we're going to match that with the RSI and the relative strength index, and we know that anything under 30 is oversold, underbought. So again, we're in a very underbought, oversold territory, and we want to pay attention to a nice trend reversal, bringing us back up. So we'll continue to pay attention to that as well. So we still haven't seen that come into the cards with the high capitulation of volume. And so we'll continue to watch for that. All it takes is an announcement around Bank of America's buying Bitcoin, or Elon's got another deal, and Apple, etc. Just like we get fear in these markets, pioneers, we can get greedy. But do not be greedy, and do not chase green candles and pumps towards the upside. Last, I want to share with you all is the importance of the last few days and the significance in the markets. We know that 511 was the mirror of 115. We get that 115 in Lucifer, something we've shared in our work for quite some time. But we're going to skip to connecting the importance between, this was a first true day of Mercury station in retrograde, and we got that 58 that we get in Puppet Master and Remote Control or Mercury retrograde. This being a day that when we typed out gave us that 13 in numerology, and we know we're in the 13-year anniversary of Bitcoin. We know the 13th zodiac is the dragon, which is the never-ending story. So just some very symbolic things right here. So we knew that 13 was very massive with the anniversary of Bitcoin. We know the 13 right here in the 131 days left day of the year. It was the 131st day of the year. That's the 13 and the 31 mirrored together. So a very important number. And we're in the 2022 year in the Shemitah cycle, giving us 38 when we type out Shemitah. So very important. We know that this was 8 months and 4 days since the start of Rosh Hashanah in the Jewish Hebrew New Year in September. And when we type out Luna, who has had its latest ritual, we get the 48, the mirror of 84. And don't forget, we're in the year of the tiger, and we get that 15 in Luna as well as tiger. So very important that we're seeing all this happen right now. We get that 59 as well. We just saw this capitulation moment come in around May 5th, but leading to a low of, $30,033.33 on May 9th. And of course, we're not only in the year of the tiger, but it's more specifically the water tiger, and that was giving us the 33 matching right there on 5/9. So just some very important things that we've seen by the code recently. This whole sell-off from our rejection point is roughly, we started this decode off right here recently around the number 13, and we see this is, I did the wrong one, sorry there you guys. We see that this is roughly a 31% sell-off to our lows right here of 26K. So it's pretty impressive when we view this by the numbers. All right. So another thing is when we type out Friday the 13th, we're getting that very impressive 223 that we know we get in our homeboys and lizard pals at Yale University, the Brotherhood of Death, Skull and Bones 223. So very impressive that today, Friday the 13th, is tied to our homeboys. We know this 101 is the 26 prime number. We're coming out of a day yesterday where we hit $26,000 for Bitcoin, and all of this is in the same time frame of Mercury in retrograde, giving us that same 101, the 26 prime number. So this is all very impressive as to why we're seeing this take place in the markets right now, and everybody wants to blame Terra Luna and their latest ritual. That's all this really is, and I can break this down in depth if I really had to for everyone. I just don't want to get caught up in all the minutia and the monotony around all this nonsense. Every artist or content provider out there on the face of this earth is sharing their thoughts on this ritual that we're seeing, and I can't tell out of the 40 people I've watched, how they've helped anybody, and this nonsense around Terra Luna has been going on since last year. And it's quite important to remember that when everyone is giving their attention to something, then it's probably a sign that it's the top. And that's something I've learned since being an investor and studying the great investors like Richard Wyckoff of the past. And there's a big difference in gambling. Let me find my Terra Luna chart, you guys. Invalid symbol. They might have did away with it, and it wouldn't surprise me. There it is. But it's important to remember there's a difference between investing and gambling. People want to get into cryptocurrency and they want to treat it like they can plant an apple tree today and they can start eating apples tomorrow, and they want to try and rinse repeat this process, and they have what's called hot hand syndrome. And it's something that gamblers have. And when you study the psychology of markets and gamblers, etc., investors, you understand the depth and level that this takes a toll on the one's mindset that's active in these things. So I very rarely took days off from this. I do the work, and I make sure what I'm doing is helping me. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm looking at this as a long-term investment mindset and thesis. And lately, we see in cryptocurrency, this has just been the talk of the town, is this nonsense around UST and these stable coins depegging from the dollar. And it's like, it's all really nonsense and a ritual. And it's kind of like Ukraine, where people want to all of a sudden just start talking about it, even though there's kind of been war over there for like 8+ years. Nobody gives anything any attention until the apex predators and lizards start creating and generating this theatrical drama nonsense around it. And it's pretty amazing how even in the high vibrational people that I've met in life, how easy it is to watch them fall victim to these narratives. And we know what's recently happened with Terra Luna. And, if you just zoom out and look at this chart, it's the most mind-blowing single-day sell-off. And, down massively, all the way back down to 2 cents right now. 100% from its highs, and that hit a high of $119. All CNI 119, motherboard 119, and we're down 99%. We know for a fact in this reality, this is all the Hegelian dialect, you guys. It's order out of chaos, problem, reaction, solution, narratives, war, and when a problem arises, the apex predator always has something to blame. They always have something they give to the public to make them feel like this is the reason it's happening. This is it. Put your blame here. And in actuality, us here that know astrology, numerology, gematria, how this world truly works, we know that's nonsense. And we know this is all narrative that was designed by a group of intelligent individuals that don't give a damn about you or your family or your life. And their sole job is to extract and harvest your energy, your light. They don't have light, pioneers. Okay? They need you. They need your energy, your light. Okay? And we see this is what's happening with Terra Luna. Okay? We saw it when it was trading at highs for the last several months leading into April. April 5th, Satoshi Nakamoto's birthday, and then it's falling off the cliff, and now people are freaking out. So again, putting energy in up here and putting energy in down here. So where we're headed with this is mindset, pioneers. If you know my work, you know mindset is the most important thing. And you also know, if you follow my work and you're a veteran here, then you know I've singled out this coin the most about not being an opportunity. I've told y'all we've hit our 236 Fibonacci extension retracement levels back here. I put 2 targets back here. We then came back down to $52 that I called for. By the code, Luna is the moon, you guys. Okay? We knew that there was not an opportunity in this. So Luna is the moon. It is Isis. 52. Okay? So when we saw this coin and everybody was screaming buy it on the world stage, I was saying sell it. That if I held it, I would get out of it. And then, look at what I did. Just bought at 0.0222 cents in the 222 year. Beautiful, and by the code, pioneers. My first initial buy-in was $1.13, and then it fell even lower on the 12th yesterday. This is a very isolated manipulation event, and this could get regulated out of existence, and the SEC could come in and slam it. But I put a small 1% capital in my portfolio in there just in case 5 years from now it returns to new all-time highs, But this is not a project you want to be looking at if you're a new investor. This is, something that you want to make sure you have your own due diligence and exit strategy built, and you've got your research done, and, you've got your entire portfolio built from mindset, investing, etc. But anything above that 4.236 fib extension that we were getting right here around that $100 range, just like Solana that I shared with you all, we had hit its 4.236 Fibonacci extension retracement range as well, and then we continued higher just like Luna did, and then we came all the way back down to 50. Look at this. We know this is overheated. We know this is unsubstantial growth. So when we see and we go back to Luna, we know that anybody that was leveraged long in this market there's no way they're not liquidated. This was a clear ritual, and it is what it is, a very extreme event where they give you a narrative to talk about for the next however long, and none of that matters. By the time you realize that, we'll already be up out of this dip and on our way. Possibly. We'll see what happens. Not financial advice. But everybody was giving it attention up here, and when they should be giving it attention down here. Taking action. Don't talk about what's going on and what's happening. What are you doing, pioneers? Are you taking action? Nobody knew when this was going to stop, but now it's down 100%. I don't know how much really lower it can go. But we'll view a couple of things and maybe shed some light as to what's happening here. But, we were pretty adamant about this coin being done with past this 4.236 that I'll pull up for you all. After a massive surge of liquidity, since the C word, whatever, we looked we're seeing a beautiful amount of gains in this coin. And we really got to give this coin some flowers, and it's mind-blowing to see this increase since March of 2020, and I'm not going to get that, so we'll go to these lows of May of 2021, and we see it's to its highs is a massive 3,000%. We saw this coin do a full 60,000 plus % move, you guys. So this is very symbolic as to what's happening right now. If we look back at cryptocurrencies like XRP around the SEC lawsuit last year, it's very symbolic as to what happened then. Boom, large ABC correction. And I know everybody wants to know why this happened. You don't want to just accept that this was an overheated project that's just equalizing like Terra Luna, and where we see that right now, it's equalizing down to where our previous structures were down in 2021. For all we know, Terra Luna could possibly be in the near distant future back at $1, $2, $8, $10 in the near distant future. This liquidating, shaking everybody out, and then these market manipulators have billions of trillions of dollars on the world stages in reserves where they can buy all the crypto they want and push this market cap up. Well, we know we just slammed it down. So, the narrative around how this happened or why it happened, nonsense. Let's consider a couple things here. Like, for one, we know that this back here in December of 2021 was an eclipse, a double eclipse period in November, December, leading into this time frame. All the way retesting the 0.1 fib, coming all the way back up, breaking above the 4236. So very important. We know it's overheated. And this eclipse period, double eclipse period, very isolated, you guys. And we talk about how important these eclipses are. So I'm going to leave that there and just share with you all this ritual right here is nonsense. And again, Luna gave us 48. When we went back to May 11th, where we saw this manipulation take place, it was 8 months and 4 days since the start of the Jewish Hebrew New Year and the Shemitah. Okay, that's the mirror of 48 that we talked about getting in Luna. It's always strictly by the code. So again, when we pay attention to this 15, how it's usually a dramatic bearish connection this year. The only connection I've seen that's been great, that's been bullish, was, the Jayhawks won your NCAA championship. Jayhawk giving us that. Maybe I spelled that wrong. Kansas Jayhawks, I thought. Boom. Kansas. Okay, so Kansas was giving us the 15 and that 43 that we got in, LA Rams, you guys. We got the Rams. The 43 is the 14th prime number. LA Rams gave us the 14, and there was a total of 43 points scored. So when we saw that connection with Kansas, this was really the only 15 that I saw that was kind of a good connection, a pro versus a con. So this 15 has just been very bearish this year. So it's not surprising that we see scripted events around this number 15. Another connection I wanted to make before I got off here today. But with all that being said, I'm going to leave this here, and hopefully you understand why we've seen these manipulated crises in the markets, and you understand what we're looking for with cryptocurrencies is a high, massive spike in volume to come in and to show us that we see a clear sign of a bottom. So with all that being said, pioneers, develop a mindset and a thesis around your portfolio and just your life in general. And don't fall for the narratives and the fear that they push on the world stage. Fear is false evidence appearing real. And that's all it is. Okay? So with all that being said, take care and God bless. I'm sending you all much love and high vibrations. Pioneers rise. Build your legacy and build your fortress.